Well, the fact of the matter is, President Trump has completely remade world politics, greatly to the advantage, I might add, of the United States of America. One might almost say America first. We are delighted to bring back to the show Victor Davis Hanson, Hoover Institution Senior Fellow. Victor, your piece here, in America's Greatness, the World Made Anew, America's Allies Stronger, Rivals Weaker, and the Global Balance is Shifted. It's just a really lovely piece. And if you will, I want to start what's happened in the Western Hemisphere and South America. Now, that story may not be over because Greenland is still out there. But as you chronicle this, all these countries have moved away from socialism, away from communism, away from China and Russia, and they've moved to freedom and free enterprise. And Mr. Trump, it's a remarkable thing.
Yeah, he has. There's only about 4 or 5 countries left that are leftist, you know, Brazil maybe, and Cuba, Nicaragua, a few others. But it's been a dramatic change since, especially since John Kerry in 2013 said the Monroe Doctrine was over, it was antiquated. And all of a sudden, Trump comes along and the Chinese are basically out of the Panama Canal business. And Russia and China are not in Venezuela. We're not getting exported criminals and drugs into the United States and Venezuela, and China's not buying sanctioned oil from it. And I think the message went out that the United States will help its friends and punish its enemies, and most countries decided, and people did, that the United States was preferable. And that kind of reverberated throughout the entire Western Hemisphere. And even now, Prime Minister Carney in Canada, so he's not praising China and the European model as much. Now suddenly he says he's going to make 2% of his NATO commitment that they welched on. He's going to secure the border, and he wants to address the $50 billion surplus. And Mexico is kind of coming around. They don't know what a great deal they've got with a big surplus, $200 billion surplus. They get $65 billion in remittances from mostly people here illegally that we subsidize with entitlements. And their cartels are, you know, dumping $20 billion, and they know that that can't go on. So now they're scrambling to see if they can cut a deal with Trump. It's quite amazing because the left keeps saying we're isolated and weak, and we're actually in the strongest position in the Middle East and Europe. Yeah, since World War II. And
right, I love that.
Look at our rivals.
Right, look, every
Larry,
step...
if you said five...
No, no,
if you said 5 years ago...
Every step of the way,
go ahead.
Every step of the way, China's declined, Russia has declined, Iran's getting, you know, blown up. I mean, that thing's going to end very badly for the regime, and I'm glad of it. But your point, if you think about it, geopolitics, or China and Russia are, you know, main 2 adversaries. Where they've gone? They've gone downhill badly.
Yeah, I mean, if I had said to you 3 years, 5 years ago that drones would be hitting things next to the Kremlin, that Russia had lost 1.5 million people, that it was importing gasoline, or that China, the Europeans were getting tired of China's mercantilism, and it was basically kicked out of the Western Hemisphere. It's got a 1.0 fertility rate. Or that the Europeans are now saying that Trump was right all along about the 2%, and they want to go to 5% as he suggested to them, and the Nord Stream pipeline was a mistake. Everything that he warned them about, they took to heart, and they're trying to change. They don't give him credit, but you have to watch what they do and not what they say. And so it's been a remarkable revolution, a global revolution, and we're in the best place, I think, since 1945 or 1946.
You know, I've always felt, Victor, and just my take, but China watching us operate in Latin America, but particularly the weaponry, our military capabilities in the Middle East, most particularly Iran, but not only Iran, they're going to make them think twice about messing around with Taiwan. In fact, I think you make it in your piece here, watching how difficult it's been for Russia to deal with the Ukraine is going to make China think twice about messing around with Taiwan.
I think so. And the Israeli Air Force blew apart the Chinese air defense system, which is supposed to be preeminent. They did it in about 24 hours. And we have done the same thing. We're flying with impunity now over Iran. and the Chinese system is either in shambles or it's inefficient. So they don't look very confident right now, and I think when you're in the middle of a revolution, it's very hard to detect it, so you have to kind of go step by step and be empirical and tune out all of the gloom and doom. But and then you've been speaking earlier today about the economy, and when you match that with a military that's going to go up to 5% of GDP, and all of the recruitment goals have now been met, and we were 40, 50, 60,000 troops short under Biden. It's been a miraculous revolution. I never thought I'd see the Silicon Valley leftists kind of go to Trump and said, we want to be like the War Production Board of World War II. We want to get all new weapons, decentralized small startups, drones, whatever you need, we're going to do it. They're very patriotic, and that was a big shock. So it's a very exciting time.
Freedom and free enterprise. Those are themes for the ages, Victor Davis Hanson, as you know as well or better than anybody else. Freedom and free enterprise. Strong at home, strong abroad. Thank you, sir.